and energy from our fan base. Like, I've been in a lot of competitive arenas as a player and as a coach. There was nothing better that I've ever been in than what happened on Saturday night.
The #1 undefeated Volunteers prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We are just a little under a month away from the kickoff of spring practice for the 2022 season. Going to kind of continue this little series, breaking down each position group, taking a look at who's leaving, who's coming in, what this team is going to look like as we move into year 2 of the Josh Heupel era. Today we're going to be talking about the wide receiver group, but before we get going, as always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. That's a way you can help the channel play the analytics of YouTube. Just hit that little thumbs up. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts, we're not insiders, we're not here trying to pretend to be something we're not. This is for the fans, by the fans. We are fans just like you. If you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications so you don't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Just a reminder, the NCAA 2013 Dynasty rolls on. We'll be taking on Florida today in week 3 of that Dynasty mode. So I hope you'll join me for that. Again, 6:15 p.m. Eastern time. But let's jump right into this. Let's talk about this wide receiver group going into 2022, who they've lost, who they're returning. And also, I think this wide receiver group, I think they're going to go into the transfer portal, look to add some more talent there. But first and foremost, wide receiver position coach Cody Burns is out, off to the NFL, heading to the New Orleans Saints. So Tennessee is still looking for a wide receiver coach. Couple of rumors out there, nothing with any real, legs to it, but we'll continue to keep you updated on that. But Cody Burns is part of this because, there is a group of wide receivers that are coming back this year, and they've got to take that next step. Guys that we were really hyping back in the spring of 2021. Guys that we thought we're going to take this program to the next level. That's Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, and Jimmy Callaway. Those are guys, they have to step up. They have to take that next step. I mean, we were talking about how the young freshman wide receivers, well, then it's the young sophomore wide receivers. Now they are starting to become upperclassmen. You're talking about Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, both juniors. Jimmy Callaway, actually a redshirt sophomore. But these guys have to take the next step. And when we talk about Cody Burns, and some people saying, that it's a loss, it's a huge blow to this Tennessee football team. I think Tennessee can upgrade. I think they can upgrade from Cody Burns because when you look at the development, and Jason Swain was talking about this just recently on his show, VAWLS Jones Jr. was going to ball out regardless. Javonte Payton comes in, did what he did. Where's the development of those guys we were calling the young wide receivers? Where was the development of Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, Jimmy Callaway? Those guys never really came on, and they are on notice for 2022. It is time for those young receivers to take that next step and become upperclassmen. As far as this wide receiver group, who are they losing this year? Obviously, VAWLS Jones Jr., Javonte Payton, both out of eligibility. Anderson Kobe entered the transfer portal, ended up transferring to Western Michigan. Cayman Marley also entered the portal as well. But when we look at the group, who's coming back? Obviously, the number one guy on your list. What a story. What a story for Cedric Tillman. We've told it time and time and time again. A guy that had 8 receptions through the first 3 years. 8 receptions total. And then comes up and puts up absolutely ridiculous PlayStation-type numbers. 64 catches, 1,081 yards, and 12 touchdowns. That's crazy coming off of 8 catches in his career. Now, a guy that I'm going to compare to him, and this is probably an unfair comparison, but this is where my expectation is. Ramel Keaton, you're also on notice. It is time to step up or step aside and let somebody else come in. Ramel Keaton is a senior. It is time. It is time to deliver. When you look at his numbers throughout his career, 2019, 4 catches, 104 yards. 2020, 9 catches, 76 yards. 2021, last year, in this Josh Heupel offense, 7 catches for 72 yards. Yet to haul in a touchdown reception in his career. It is time for Ramel Keaton to take that next step. Now, can he be that guy? Can he do what Cedric Tillman did? Can he go to work? Because when you ask about Cedric Tillman, why the transformation, why the change, everything you hear from the coaching staff, from guys in and around the program, is that Cedric Tillman put his head down and went to work and did what he had to do. He bought in. He bought into this coaching staff, into this offense, and look at the numbers. Look at the numbers from Cedric Tillman. Can Ramel Keaton go and do that as well? Now, I would think this coaching staff probably has some questions and concerns about who can step up and be that outside receiver opposite Cedric Tillman. And that's why we saw them going into the portal, trying to get a guy like Isaiah Nair. And I think they're going to continue to go into the portal after we get through the spring and those 5 spots open up and this coaching staff is able to actually go and start bringing in some talent. We're going to have a lot of discussions after we get through spring practice. There's going to be a lot of names popping up in the transfer portal, showing up visits. Will they find a guy that can step up and deliver outside of Tillman? Now, what does that say to me? What does it say? Go back to last year. Let's talk about the quarterback position for just a minute. Just a minute. Because we can get on here, and again, for the fans, by the fans. We're all fans. We all have opinions, and that's what makes the comment section great. We can have debates. We can argue. There are people that truly believe, as a fan, they know more about football and the quarterback position than Josh Heupel. They still believe that Harrison Bailey is this all-world, all-conference, all-NCAA quarterback talent. But for some reason, he couldn't get on the field under Jeremy Pruitt. He couldn't get on the field under Josh Heupel. He enters the transfer portal, goes nowhere, ends up at UNLV. UNLV. Obviously, when this coaching staff went into the transfer portal and they brought in Joe Milton, and we're all scratching our heads saying why. Because the reality of the situation is they didn't feel like they had enough talent in that quarterback room. So we can pull up the wide receiver room. We can look and see Cedric Tillman, Ramel Keaton. We can get excited because I did it myself. I'm just as guilty. Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, Jimmy Callaway. Seems like a world of talent in that wide receiver room. But if this coaching staff feels they need to go into the transfer portal and add another wide receiver on the outside, that should be a big red flag for guys like Ramel Keaton, Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday. Can they take the next step? Obviously, there are some holes, there are some issues in this wide receiver room. I think a guy like Jalen Hyatt could potentially, he needs to put on a little size. He has to be able to beat press coverage. He's a guy that he has the speed. He has SEC level speed. We saw it 2 years ago against Alabama. Jalen Hyatt has the speed if he can get off of press coverage. 2021, Jalen Hyatt had 21 catches, 226 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he's a guy that doesn't really need to be on the outside. He's a guy that I think could thrive in the slot. Can he take that next step? I may be more excited about this wide receiver room throughout spring practice than any other position group on the team. I want to see who takes that next step. Tons of talent as far as freshmen go, but can they get on the field? Will Josh Heupel trust them enough to get on the field? Cameron Miller, Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb, Squirrel White. There's a lot of talent there. Squirrel White's one to watch. He is one to keep your eye on. When a guy like Jason Swain, that played college football, played the position, played wide receiver in the SEC, had a cup of coffee in the NFL. When he watches a guy like Squirrel White run routes, and he says he's not a 3-star, he runs routes like a 5-star, that excites me. Can they do enough? Can they contribute early? Can they get involved? Because if I was Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Holiday, and Jimmy Callaway, I'd be looking in the rearview mirror. Let's go to work. Iron sharpens iron. There's some talent there, but there are also some question marks there. And again, we'll continue to follow it, see what this coaching staff does in the transfer portal as we move through spring practice and get into the summer. But you guys know what to do. Hit that comment section. What are your thoughts overall of this wide receiver room? Do you think they have underperformed? The guys coming back outside of Cedric Tillman, They've underperformed, and can they take the next step as we head into 2022? Hit that comment section. Let me know. Also, check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. Just go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin' Vols. Any and all support, guys, we greatly appreciate it. We want you to feel like you are a part of this show. That's why we do the fan call-in shows. Have a lot of fun with you guys. You are part of the team, of the family. But when you pick up merchandise, you are advertising for us. Let somebody know about Talkin' Vols. Let's continue to grow this channel. We appreciate you guys for showing up, showing out, showing support. That's going to do it for this one. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, join me tonight, 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time, for the NCAA Dynasty. Probably going to be talking a lot of Tennessee football. Probably going to be talking about that wide receiver coaching search. And we're getting geared up for spring practice, man. I am excited. Football is on the way back, less than 4 weeks. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.